Thank you. Very warm good afternoon to all the participants and the delegates from Telecom Sector Skill Council. Today we have a program, an awareness webinar on the various career opportunities that exist in the Telecom Sector Skill Council, in the telecom sector, and how this can be translated into our schools and how our schools can benefit from all the career opportunities, and the students can go and get employment after the school, and maybe they can get some courses which will help them to get good employment. We have with us Dr. Vishwati Saha, who is Director Skill Education and Training in CBSE. We have Mr. Arvind Bali, who is the CEO of Telecom Sector Skill Council. We have Mr. Shiv Pandey, who is a resource person. And we have Mr. Saif Mohammed from the Telecom Sector Skill Council. This webinar has been arranged to take a feedback from our stakeholders, from our schools, about the various courses and the job roles that exist at level 4 and can be offered at senior secondary level in the schools. So there are 4 job roles that can be translated into subject at the school level in classes 11th and 12th. We will have a detailed presentation about these courses, which will help the schools to give us a feedback about which course they would find more useful, given the circumstances in the local geographical area and also the kind of students that they have in their school. A feedback form and a poll will be floated at the end of the program, which you can participate in and give us your feedback. Your feedback will help CBSE in deciding which subjects we can offer at the senior secondary level and also at the other levels in the school, like in the upper middle class, 6 to 8, a small module. And maybe if the course material is very good enough and the students also agree with that, we might go in for a small module in class 9 to 10. So with this, I would like to invite Dr. Vishwati Saha, who is Director of Skill Education and Training and who has been the force behind this whole initiative, wherein we are inviting sector skill councils to interact with our schools and present the career opportunities, the job opportunities, and the opportunities for further studies that exist within the sector, so that our schools can make an informed choice and help the students also to take their course of life towards the academic domain or towards the vocational domain. So with this, I would like to welcome Dr. Vishwati Saha, Director of Skill Education and Training. Sir.
Thank you, RP. Good afternoon to everyone. CEO of Telecom Sector Skills Council, Sri Arvind Bali, and other team members from Telecom Sector Skills Council, my colleague from CBSE, and of course, our educator participants who have joined us virtually to these awareness workshops on telecom sectors, the potential scope, challenges, and how really we can gear up to offer such kind of courses in the school premises. Because maybe in our times, that electronics and telecommunication engineering was a huge profile. And now also, to larger extent, it still exists. But many of the youngsters are very much interested to go to the computer science. Some people are in the mechanical engineering side. So overall, if we look into the sector, I think it is contributing more than 6.5% to India's GDP. And in terms of we have seen the multi-Gs trajectory. So we are now landed up at 4G, but very soon I think 5G and other mechanisms of telecommunications and delivery mechanisms, especially the teachers, educator, who are very much using the best use case in terms of their classroom connectivity to all such kind of whether it is shopping or even that video chat. So in totality, ultimately during the pandemic times, the most use cases are there with the help of these particular sectors. Now, one way the penetrations of digital handle device and other way the total focus on digital India. So I think somewhere down the line, we need to be prepared to handle the device challenges, to mitigate the network and connectivity issue, and also to create best telecom infrastructure in the country. We need different kind of manpower. So considering all these areas, whether it is infrastructure or service or even repair and maintenance, so I was just going through the job role, what Telecom Sector Skills Councils are offering, whether it is optical fiber related or your customer service in terms of device operation and maintenance. So, and all these things has a huge potentials. And I think over a period of coming 10 years, the sector will grow like anything. So whether student is acquiring a professional degree after 10 plus 2 or within the span of school hours, what way they can educate themselves, because we know there are larger dropouts from our systems. We are confident that from CBSE system there is no dropout, but in reality it is not like that. There are huge dropouts, and many of the school leaders are not aware of where they are going, whether they are engaged with some kind of education or literally engaged in the market for certain job role. So considering this perspective in mind, we thought in this emerging and growing sector, how can we help to create a positive synergy so that our youngsters, while in school, they are very much equipped with this kind of know-how and knowledge as well as skill. So even if they drop out, they can do something. This is number one. Some educators present today may not agree because they feel I have not seen any dropouts in my entire last 20 or 20, 30 years career. So, but for them also there are certain solutions, because CBSE is thinking those students who are aiming to serve this sector in a management role or administrator role or as a professional engineer role, for them, I think it would be early know-how. So some kind of standard knowledge we are going to provide along with the skill competency so that they can catch up a specific career onto it while they are passing out from the school and joining some engineering college or some management college after UG program. So all those things are readily important for us, and that's why we requested Telecom Sector Skill Council. I'm happy and thankful to Mr. Bali because there are a lot of activities are going on because Skill India becomes a huge thing for all of us, and how education is that segmented approach to combine and collaborative approach we can really write at this point of time. I think with the help of all 324 participants who have joined us directly through our UX links, and of course those who have joined us through YouTube, they can also contribute in this economy, because the major issue at present, 620 million smartphone subscriptions are there. And if you ask me the total employment in this particular sector, around 4 million. So our 24,000 schools employed only 1 million teachers. The telecom sector alone already employed 4 million employees in this particular sector. So the potential growth of this sector, you can imagine, and your leisure time after the session, I think resource persons will give you the presentations, try to be interactive, and thereafter you look into the actual potential of the sector. And if you are convinced, then you start the course in your school, and maybe jointly Telecom Sector Skills Council and CBSE, based on your interest, we are going to offer some course in near future. Thank you very much for joining us, and try to be interactive. And of course, my compliment to Telecom Sector Skills Council and my colleague from Skill Education Department from CBSE. Over to RP.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words of motivation and also outlining the various opportunities that exist in this sector. We have also outlined the support that we would seek from the Telecom Sector Skill Council, and we hope that Telecom Sector Skill Council is all geared up to offer that support to us. With this hope, I would like to invite Mr. Arvind Bali, who is the CEO of Telecom Sector Skill Council, for his remarks and also the vision with which Telecom Sector Skill Council is progressing and what lies in future for our schools. Thank you so much, and over to you, Bali sir.
Yeah. So good afternoon, Dr. Saha, Dr. Arpit Singh, and all the respected teachers who are participating in this webinar. I've got 39 years of experience in telecom IT space, and now, for last 2 years, I am heading Telecom Sector Skill Council. When I passed out from a very reputed engineering college, and then I did MBA also from a very reputed institute. But after 8 or 10 years of my studies, when I went to US, I realized that there was a big difference in our education and what education people are getting in Western world, and especially in US. In our case, we were studying a lot of things, but at the same time, we didn't know the practical use of it. We knew theory part of it, but where it is used, that part was totally missing. And it was probably the first time that it occurred to me that we have to increase our engagement with the schools and colleges so that we actually also try to give them the actual aspect of it. Fortunately for me, we are part of Telecom Sector Skill Council, and as you know, that ICT is the fastest growing field which is there in the world today. Everything what is going to happen in coming time will be all related devices. It will be complete automations, and everything will be on mobility, and everything will be on communication. And as you have heard from very renowned speakers, that ultimately data is considered as a new oil. And also, Wi-Fi is considered as equivalent to oxygen. Like the way we can't live without oxygen, we can't live without connectivity or Wi-Fi these days. And fortunately for us, that we are in that field. Now, when we talk about this, it is at school level. When we start interacting with students on that, I know that they all will not be going to telecom field or ICT field, but I can assure you and I can tell you that in future there will not be any area where telecom will not be part of their life. Even if if somebody is going to work in agriculture, there'll be telecom connectivity which is required. If they're going to work in space sciences, I think again you need connectivity with ground. Similarly, if you're going to be in medicine, then telemedicine is a science which is required. So everywhere there will be a telecom linkage which will be there. Now, having said that, when you are studying basics in the college, that inhibition, which you have towards the technology, that is overcome. When school level, when you are studying all that, what is fiber, how the data gets them, which is like on various aspects, whether it is related to safety and security of their devices, or whether it is related to, how they should make self repairs and data mobile or the devices, because they have a technological fear. But in my opinion, here, once you have studied in school time, then that animation is not there. You actually know that what you are studying. So in my opinion, I think practically 100% students, they should study this as a part of their curriculum. They should get some practical training on that, so that later on in their life, when they become doctors, or any further question answer on that. And once again, thanks a lot. And I really appreciate all the respected teachers who have come here to listen to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Bali sir, for your kind words. Although we lost the signal in between, maybe because you're traveling, so that is why we were not able to hear you for a little bit. But whatever we could gather, that there's a lot of scope, and the Sector Skill Council of Telecommunication is already on board with CDSK and is ready to join hands and offer the cutting edge courses and maybe the emerging technology courses to our students. Thank you so much for those words. I would now like to invite Mr. Shiv Pandey, who is our resource person and facilitator for today. He will be sharing a presentation with us and telling us more about this sector and how we can take forward this sector into a school level. The students can take it up as an hobby courses, maybe small modules also at middle school, as a subject of study also. But what COVID has shown us, what Digital India can do. These 2 years when pandemic has struck us, it is only through internet services and online classes that education has been sustained. The working of the various offices happened only because of the online meetings and telecommunication and the communication that has happened between the departments and within the department also. So there's a lot of scope here, not only as a profession, but a lot of scope in it as a hobby also. So with this, I would like to invite Mr. Shiv Pandey. Over to you, Pandeyji, and thank you so much for joining us till now.
Thank you very much, sir, for your kind words, and a very good afternoon to everyone, the people who are in this webinar session. So I'll be taking a very brief presentation as to what Mr. Shah, Dr. Shah, and the Dr. R.P. Singh has mentioned. So what telecom sector is to offer in this entire ecosystem. We play a very major role in the ecosystem. In fact, we are the backbone to all the other sub-segment or these sectors across the India and around the world. Connectivity is something which helps people to connect and share their thought, information, and able to survive in the ecosystem as well. So we are the backbone and bedrock to every sector in this pandemic, as well as across the play areas and places. So I'll take away to the. I'll go with the sequence-wise agenda which we have come up with. One is the highlight of the sector skill telecom sector. So we are the second largest telecom network and fastest growing in application development market. So we need people who can do application development in India as well. The third, we are the second highest number of internet users. So if we see our trend, we are becoming this. It won't be a day where we will be the first among the top first country having the highest internet users. So we are into second number in population. The third, the government which is helping and supporting in various spaces like 100% FDI, they are providing a PLI scheme, satellite communication, which is also coming up and booming. So there's lot of tremendous amount of opportunities there in telecom industry and the way it is shaping up. Currently, we have around 4.2 million employees. So if I say into direct and indirect jobs, it is 2.2 in direct and 1.8 in indirect jobs in telecom by 2020 itself. So we are adding more people. The people are getting skilled, reskilled, upskilled, and those who don't have any skill, they are also getting into skilling activities. If I see the opportunities in telecom, they're tremendous. If 5G, which is coming up, Airtel, which has already done its pilot testing in Hyderabad, so there is tremendous amount IoT sensors development. So we understand that today's in the children and the candidates who come for the education, they're far superior than our prior generations. They do understand what they want and what they are capable of doing. We do understand they love to learn through gadgets. They are very gadget oriented in their learning sessions. They know how to come up with presentation. They know how to connect multiple devices at their homes. Now, things like Alexa, if I say simple an example, which is one of the common uh, prototype model which has been deployed across every home household, and they are now connecting them with a phone. So phone is something that people learn the application and they want to do some coding around that. And they want to learn the Android apps, how it functions and how they take care of the entire networking events. Similarly, we are also expanding to the rural areas and the other urban area with the infrastructure. So there is a digital infrastructure expansion which is going on. Smart cities, yes, government is also working toward the around 100 smart cities which has been identified, and we are coming up with more planned manner where the government is putting a lot of effort to emphasize on those people and the required skilled manpower to understand to take away these kind of jobs and learn how to deploy things on ground and make people customize the clients as per their requirements. The manufacturing segment, it is also one of the biggest area. The support by the government, the PLI schemes where the people we require, especially women, where they require to be on the shop floor for assembling of handsets and now doing an SMT, surface mount technologies also. So we need people who learn these kind of technologies, who can get are very much skilled enough to take these jobs in the industry, and they are open to hire people. And we say there lack of job, but actually there is lack of skill which is required in the ecosystem. Based on these skills, they will get a job in the industry itself. People are looking for these kind of smart candidates in this ecosystem. So till now, telecom sector is one of the non-profit organizations which we have been developed by in conjunction with the telecom players which are there like Airtel, Voda Idea, and BSNL. In fact, Mighty and DOT is also as a line ministry with us. So far, we have done around training which we have enrolled around 10 lakhs. 6.5 lakhs of them have been certified. 46 qualification packs we have developed. Yes, it is very low. The horizon is very huge, but we have selected those job roles which are there in the market and which have been very much popular in the industry and relevant in the market. We have around 600 plus training centers. We have assessment agency who conduct an assessment on ground for those people. So there is no conflict of interest between the training centers and the assessment agencies as well. And also for them to give placement, we are now facilitating with our telco jobs portal where we have adding more industry partners into it to help them in getting placement in the industry. So we have been backed by the line ministry, the foundation members over there, and some other industry members in the ecosystem. So these people are onboarded with us and they help us in developing qualification pack. They help us in making us to understand the demand in the market and how the industry is progressing towards industry 4.0 in telecom sector as well. These are our members, governing body members who help us to drive the telecom industry and help us in identifying the skills. Mr. Akhil Gupta, who is the Vice Chairman of Bharti Enterprise, he is our president in this ecosystem. Mr. P. Balaji is the Director, Regulatory in this External Affairs in Vodafone Idea. Mr. Pankaj Baindu, who takes care of the manufacturing segment, is a chairman. And from the tower infrastructure side, Director General Mr. T.R. Dua, who is our treasurer in this organization. And of course, Mr. Arvind Bali, who drives everything in the ecosystem in telecom. He is our CEO and a very dynamic person. Moving forward, telecom sector, there are various horizontal and vertical sub-segment, but we have consolidated everything into 4 sub-segment areas. One is service segment, which is purely towards service-oriented areas. Answer segment, where the manufacturing segment comes into the picture. The passive infrastructure deals on the passive infrastructure, like building up towers, cabling of the fibers, cabling and fiber, everything. And network management segment, which takes care of the active segment. Above this, you will see there's a legacy courses like call center and handset repair are mentioned. But these courses are now going to be upgraded, new technologies which are getting mounted, the futuristic courses like 5G, drone, IoT, blockchain are coming into picture. So we need to train our candidates who are into schools education. They should start work. They might have, few of them might have also started working on 5G drones, and they will be very happy to learn these technologies because this are the future in the industry. The entire 46 job roles have been divided into sub-segments, but we will be picking as of now with respect to CBSE as we have already discussed, and we are open house in discussion as well. So what all courses can be taken up in the school premises. So these sets qualifications are 46 which are divided into sub-segments. We have a detailed list of the levels where they actually fall into the ecosystem, in this skill ecosystem. Moving forward, this is just a given a background that past 4 years we are involved into the ecosystem and school education with RAMSA, which is Rashtriya Shiksha Samiti, which is our state board schools. But with the help of PSS, Central Institute and Vocational Education of Bhopal, they help us in preparing a detailed level of qualification books for 9, 10, 11, and 12 standard. Till now, we have been working with them for past 4 years, and the courses have been listed over here on your screen. So we have been these courses are in the process and pipeline. We have done training on these courses, and we have proposed more job role as well. We have been currently working in Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Goa, Andhra Pradesh, and Kerala, and we are working on the other state as well. And by this coming financial year, we will be doing their school assessment for them. In terms of numbers, if I say, we have done an enrollment around 19,957 numbers. This gives a very detailed, elaborative view of what kind of job role the school candidates have opted, the number of candidates undergone for the training programs in their 18, 19. We have taken the current 3 financial years of 18, 19, 19, 20, and 2021. So the numbers, Goa and Kerala, we are still working on because of the pandemic. We can't conduct the practical assessment for these candidates, but now things are getting open. We are doing it for these people as well. So we have done around 19,000 numbers in schools. So we do have an experience and we understand what schools are candidates are looking forward and what we can bring. In terms of CBSE, we would recommend these 4 job roles where we already have a model curriculum, we have a participant book and facilitator guide, and also we have developed a digital content as well. So all these 4 courses are aligned to an NSQF alignment as per Ministry of Skill Development and Architecture. So before going in detail with each and every job role, what it brings to the table, we have already a form which has been feedback form has been prepared and which will be shared over the chat. We would request everyone to please share your input so that we can more focus and bring more quality based material in front to the CBSE students so that they can learn, train, learn, practice, and then get deployed in the ecosystem as and when they want. Moving ahead, so if I go with the career progression of each and every job, if I say optical fiber technician, so the career progression is the person as a splicer come at NSQF level 3. He then progresses to NSQF level 4, 5, and 6 onwards. So at level 4, he learns how to do fiber, how to manage team within himself. And at level 5, he is an supervisor who manages as a commercial industrial where the deployment of fiber takes place. And so on at the planning phase of level 6. So this gives a career progression, vertical progression. Obviously, there is an horizontal progression as well, but the vertical progression will help the candidate to understand and learn where he can go in the future. The minimum education qualification for this course is, let's say, 12th pass, but when we include this into the school ecosystem, the candidate actually goes for 1 year or 2 years of in detail learning of this curriculum, which has been expanded into 1 year or 2 years of program, and he is able to learn and then take up an assessment and gets a certificate from Ministry of Skill Development, and he is renowned to get a job if he looks for a job after 12th standard. Similarly, if I go Android is one of the biggest markets. We need people who can do the development, who can do Android application because 85% of market has been taken by Android. So the multiple phones where takes Android application, we need people who can develop, who can do coding in the Android space. The minimum education, which I mentioned is 12, but in school level, 10th standard after passing 10, the candidate can undergo for this course as well from 11th and 12th standard for 2 years of program. So this is a progression level. He become a senior developer and a manager, and then he becomes a product manager at level 7. Call center, which is also one of the requirement in the service segment by the operator who takes care of the customer query, complaint, and request and fulfill the demand of the customer. So he comes at level 4, then he goes as a team leader and as a quality analyst, and then he becomes a service delivery manager. So, and these entire level of job roles, the minimum salary, if I say, the per candidate will earn is from 12,000 to 15,000 is the range. It depends upon the company how they take the candidate, but the range is starting from 12 to 15,000. And I believe these are the last job role is a handset repair, where people is required as a handset repairer. In rural areas, we need people who can repair the handsets on ground. So it start at level 4 and we go as a senior head. Then if we have a very much exposure of the handset, how things work, he can become an entrepreneur also at level 6. He learns what all things are required to open his own shop or a company if he wants to deliver his services. He can run it. And at level 7, he runs at a medium enterprise company with having multiple branches within his ecosystem. So these are the 4 job roles with the various career progression and a brief description of the QP where it actually stands as occupation and how it functions. So I rest my presentation over here, and this particular feedback form has been shared over the chat by Mr. Praveen. You can we request every one of you to share your feedback on this, as what all job role you are more focused on, and where we can deliver more content to it and more enriched material, so that we can take the candidate upbringing and we can scale that as per the industry requirement. So I rest my
Meanwhile,
presentation.
Steve, can you?
Yes.
Steve, am I audible? Meanwhile, can you
Yes.
take up for 6 to 8 classes what we are preparing the capsule? Can you just give a little bit?
I'll just showcase that scheme. Give me a minute.
So meanwhile, Mr. Shiv presents that. Let me also add on few points. Dr. Saha mentioned about the economy and the contribution of telecom in it. Let me also clarify, and for your knowledge base, to all the educators who are present over here. In fact, during the time of pandemic, the contribution, according to some studies by the analyst firm, of telecom sector went up to 34%. So you can see the importance of telecommunication in everyday life. It is cascaded to the grassroots level, and while new technology is being adopted over there, we also need people who can actually maintain that kind of network, be it on the hardware side, which is the mobile phones or smartphones, be it on the network side, like towers. So that is one thing. Second thing, I think he mentioned very important point when he said telecommunication courses are aspirational courses. Well, with TSSC, that is Telecom Sector Skill Council, what we have in offering is we have courses that are well fitted for frontline, which is the frontline courses, the base level courses, which are sufficient and good enough for the students studying in the CBSE schools to know whether they are interested in pursuing this career or not. They can test waters by taking up those courses in the school at the school level. And then, of course, we have advanced level courses as well, or the futuristic courses. Like if you would go to, if your students want to do something around native cloud, Android, machine to machine learning, AI. Yes, we do have, we are coming up with those kind of courses. We are coming up with the courses which are 5G aligned. Dr. Singh mentioned about the 4G, how popular it is. But let me also tell you, because we are the leaders in this space to study as what the market is all about and where the supply and demand would be, we are pretty sure that 5G would be bigger than 4G. Why? Simply because all the data related applications are easily run on 5G as compared to 4G. So whatever issues regarding the bandwidth or upload and download of the content and image that you see 5G. So it makes an obvious choice for the telecom providers to eventually phase out from 4G and go into 5G. So this is what change is happening in India, and by next year we are going to see a lot of things happening around there. Then Dr. Saha also mentioned one important point about the school dropouts. Probably one of the areas that are less talked about, but I would really tell you that the courses that we are offering are actually designed around, or I would say, they are designed to condition the students around if they want to take up a job or interest or gauge their interest in telecommunication courses, they can take up telecommunication sector skill council course and they can know whether this fields make sense for them or not to pursue further in their studies. Also, if there are school dropouts, we give them an equal opportunity by having courses like handset repair technician. So Mr. Shiv Pandey also mentioned that students can start up their little shop, or they can provide these services to their nearby region by getting trained on such type of courses. So we have a good mix of courses that encourage entrepreneurship if there are school dropouts, and also different type of courses, futuristic courses. If students want to really take up something around telecommunication, they can easily take this short-term duration course of telecommunication, and they can always know whether telecommunication will be the career that they are pursuing or not. Also, since Dr. Saha mentioned that there are 620 million smartphones, so you can see the range. I mean, you can see the volumes. What about, I was reading an article yesterday by an eminent politician who said that, though we are going from, recycling to repairing. So there's a lot of emphasis around e-waste, and there is a lot of emphasis around repairing than actually buying something new or recycling it. So that is an important point for us to know how industry is evolving and how we can fit it back with the courses that we have at the student level. With that, Shiv, please take up of what you were showing and probably can elaborate on that. That would be it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sai. So as Mr. Praveen sir was mentioning about the courses for as per the national skill policy which has come up in education, that on 6th to 8th standard we need some courses for the candidates to learn something more towards the technical side and technology oriented. So we came up with few of this detailed courses like name 4, which it's in the discussion with the CBSE as to how we can more design and more curriculum can be developed in such a manner for candidates become easier. Like basic of mobile communication. So candidate is very much aware that how a phone operates and how things function, but he doesn't know a basic, how it actually functions. So we can come up with saying how the mobile communication actually works around, how the signal passes from one place to another place, a basic understanding. Right now, maybe the GSM architecture may be a very big word for the candidate as of now. But yes, we can mold down the language and we can prepare such a good flow chart for them so that they understand how things actually works at the back end of a system. Whenever a service has been provided, a lot of effort and man-hours required at the back end side to make things work properly. So basic of communication will be one of the best understanding for candidate to learn about the networking, how the networking is done. The second we came up is that internet is available everywhere. Candidates know how to use an internet. But what kind of internet is to be used? With a good side, with a bad side, how internet works, how the backend system actually works. A basic animated diagram or kind of a session can be designed accordingly so that candidate is aware how the networking system actually works, internet actually in the backend. Third, as I've already mentioned, the IoT devices. Alexa is one of the example. Every household has that particular device. Most of the households have. But the devices which are interconnected, how they work around these smart devices, how the application, there are multiple devices which are coming to market. So this will open up the thought process and the creativity of a candidate and innovation as well. So the candidate will learn, they will develop more such products which will be very good, useful for the mankind as well as for their career as well. The third is related to the application and security. So everything should have a security feature. They should be aware of do's and don'ts, what are fakes and real application into it. So in the market, there are lots of people are putting a very fake application, the news and other things. They should learn and understand what are things are good for them, what are not good for them. So he came up with this four curriculum, or let's say four broad topics which will help us in setting up a beautiful content for the candidates of at level 6 and 8 standard onwards, 6 standard onwards. So these are certain courses. We would be very keen to work and design these courses for the school as well, based on the inputs. Sir.
Also, I would like to add, because I'm seeing the comment, needs infrastructure. This was one important point that I was about to mention while I was speaking. So with Telecom Sector Skill Council, we are very keen and we are actually, assertive on this front that whatever support information you require, please, you do get in touch with us. We'll be very happy to support you over there. Second thing, I want to remove this misconception that setting up a telecommunication lab requires a lot of investment. It's not like that. Probably it is equivalent to setting up a computer lab or even lesser than that. So if you would look at the popular courses that we are trying to promote between 6 to 8 standards, like PC with you, with little additional and incremental investment, you can set up an IoT lab as well. So it's not really, that our courses that we are suggesting at the school level require a lot of heavy investment. Only I think the need for intention and to cascade this to educate the students properly, that requirement is there that we should be able to do with your help. Thank you.
Also, if I may add here, what I could gather from Mr. Pandey's presentation is that these courses are very nicely aligned and nicely made and would also cater to the hobby section. I would not like to take up this course maybe as a profession, which I may later on take it up, but as of now, I'm more interested to know how my mobile works. Because everybody has now been exposed, everybody is using a mobile system. So they should have a basic awareness and basic know how it works. What happens when I press a button? I may not go into a technical thing, but I would like to be aware of what is happening to my mobile. Why is it getting heated up? Plus, at the same time, I should know the safety. I should know about the cyber safety also. I should know how to interact and use the mobile. What's the ideal way of using a mobile? So, let's say towards the software section of it and the hardware section. The telecom sector will deal up with the hardware section more dominantly, but also will have something on the software section.
Okay.
And this is a very big area. This is an area of a lot of happening. This is an area which has a lot of scope for our students also. Because you don't need to create an interest for it. The demand is already there. The child is very much interested.
Yeah.
He's already a user. But when you're designing these courses, I would also like to request you to look at the computer science books that they normally use in a school for class 1 to 8.
Yes, sir.
Please have a look at it also. That will also help you in designing your module, which will be most probably taken up as a school level from 6 to 8 as a hobby module. And maybe if we should design it as a completely hands-on module. सब कुछ practically करना थोड़ा बहुत.
बिल्कुल sir.
We do not want it to be textful. We want it to be fun. We want to be interesting. Okay?
Should be an interactive.
And NEP has clearly stated that we should expose our students to 50% of our learners to the vocation, to the skills. तो हमें एक्सपोज भी करना है, उन्हें अवेयर भी करना है और उनको ये भी बताना है कि आगे अगर आप इसके आगे प्रोफेशन लेना चाहते हैं तो आपके लिए लॉट ऑफ स्कोप इज देयर एंड लॉट ऑफ career has been charted out for you. Maybe
Yes, sir.
for the teachers, we would also request a small teacher training program. So these are things that we will work out when we'll sit together. But for our schools, lot of hopes. For our school, lot of openings, lot of exciting things, lot of promises that we have seen from Telecom Sector Skill Council. But more or less, for our students, it's going to be a very interesting coming year or coming month. So back to you, Pandit.
So I totally agree with your points, sir. So we will try to fulfill what all we have on our table and as per your expectation with the schools and everything. So we will be ready with course material and whatever you have mentioned. We'll once we develop, we'll share it with you, sir, and take your guidance and inputs, and we'll showcase and publish to the other teacher educational people so that they can review and give their feedbacks, and we can finally take it to the next level. So, Mr. Praveen sir, if we can take up any questions, if we have any, so we can respond to them. We have time.
Pandyaji, if you could have the link on the screen.
First to all participants, we have shared that feedback form as well, plus the number of the courses which is most liked by that school principals and all senior teams who are participating. So request to fill up the all feedback form. If somebody is not able to get it, I'll just say once again on the chat. So that please fill it with all queries which have been given in that. So I have once again shared that link on the feedback form. Please fill it up. And meanwhile, I'll request Mr. Saif Mohammed to give the close remark for the meeting.
Just a check. We have around 300 participants with us and 348 participants, and we've got 150 feedbacks as of now.
Okay.
And,
okay. It's good. It's exciting. At least
all the participants, please fill in the feedback form so that we are able to decide which course is to be offered.
Yeah.
Surely.
Okay, wonderful. So thank you, Praveen ji. And I can see people are still, asking for feedback form. So Praveen ji, please do repost the link again and again, so that if it scrolls up, they can easily, access that. So with
Sure.
this session was very enriching, and it is so nice to see the participation by the educators, school principals, representatives themselves being over here. This shows the intent and interest of the schools, of what they are willing to do for their students. I think this is.
Sorry, Sergi, I'm cutting you. We have just posted a question in the poll. So we have just given a poll on it could just, the participants just click wherever they wish to. If the question is there, we have done up for the participants, and they have around 4.5 minutes to go for the poll to complete. And maybe, but till that time, if we could have a slide on the screen wherein we had talked about some job opportunities for these courses, that will just refresh the memories. And then maybe, Muhammad sir, if you could just wait for that a while, and just after 4 or 5 minutes, we can.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I'll
wait for people to
share the slide, please.
I'll just do that. So this slide will be okay, or should I go with the career progression one?
I think this one, because career progression you can only have one slide on screen, na?
Yeah, every job role has one.
So that will maybe this will help. It is basically in the meantime just briefly बताते भी चले.
Yeah, just read it out, Shiv, with the detailed explanation of this particularly. What are the in this job roles?
Okay. So I'll take first job role, that is optical fiber technician. The person, the individual who will be learning this course will be actually supervising 2 or 3 people under him who will be doing laying of cable around in the ground, and he will be supervising and also be well knowledgeable in how to perform splicing of the cables. You must have seen people who are doing splicing on ground in various locations in your areas nearby you, wherever there is a fiber cut. We need people who can do fiber splicing. So splicing is one level below of this technician. That knowledge is also being encompassed with this optical fiber technician. So we have a model curriculum, we have books with us as a short-term training program, but it can be expanded to 1 year or 2 years of program. We have already done with PSSCID, which is set in Bhopal, and they have already submitted to NCRB. The second is the Android application. We, as I've already mentioned, that the market is huge. We need people who can do coding and development, who are very into towards the computer science area, means IT background, or they want to take choose one of this segment as the key career role. So Android is one of the job role which is very hot in the market, and they require people. Third is the call center. The people who accept who resolve QRC call, query, request, and complaint, who actually work with an operator, help the customer to solve their queries and help them to understand their requirements and sell product and services of the operators itself. So call center is one of the biggest job roles. We have BPOs, international BPOs, the domestic BPOs. We need people for that kind of job role as well. And the last one is the handset repair engineer. So this particular job will help the candidate to learn technically how the handset system working, to fix the handset issues, like if a battery is heating very fast, what's the issue? To check with the multimeter or a hot gun to open the phone, check, open the screwdrivers, check whether the mic is working or the speaker is working or not, replace those components, place it again, and correct the default or very bad phone. So these kind of activities are undergone with the handset repair. He learns how phone actually works on the hardware side as well as on the software, flashing the phone, making rebooting the phone. So these kind of activities is being done in handset, and this is one of the entrepreneur job role where the person can take up as a job in the job as an entrepreneur and can employ more people under him. So it is one of the business oriented job role as well.
Thanks, Shiv. And over and above, we train the trainers. Actually, there is a TOT programs to train the trainers who are being going to be teach to the candidates. So that is also we have that teachers facilitator guidebook also so that they can, and then participant handbook as well as the teachers handbook, teachers facilitator guide, and then the modern calculator and digital contents for that most of the job roles. So that it is very easy to understand while going to the digital contents.
In fact, these waste material will help us in developing a detailed course for the 11th and 12th standard candidates, so that they can learn, understand, and as to how to choose their career. Obviously, 12th standard is very low, but for those candidates who are seeking for some kind of a job in the market, who are immediate requirement in their requirement in society and the community. So for those people, this job will help them in earning revenue, and they will become a breadwinner for their families.
Also, if you look at these job roles and a child who is not thinking of going into a profession, is not into thinking of going into, let us say, a job market with this, they would like to have an extra knowledge to his own other subjects. Like an optical fiber technician will have a lot of knowledge about how optical fiber works and Android application, how they are developed. So maybe in whatever career is going into, maybe he's going into a bigger career like a programmer or software engineer And that all these things will also help to consolidate that learning also. So, अगर ये अकेले इनके is not thinking of becoming the bread earner with these courses, I would say he's looking at the academic inputs from these courses. So thank you so much, Pandit and your team. Back to you, Mohammed sir. Thank you. Sorry for buzzing into your speech. And we have got a good number of feedback from the schools. We have got around 230 people have responded. And the poll has also been concluded. So maybe we'll have the result of the poll very shortly. But at the same time, I take this opportunity before you say anything to thank the Telecom Sector Skill Council for the lovely interactive event that we had today. And we look to more collaboration from your side and a healthy working cooperation with us. Thank you so much. Back to you, Mohammed Singh.
Thank you, Mr. Singh, and I really thank CBSE for conducting this much needed session wherein we could, interact with the educators and skill evangelists, so to say, of what is happening in telecom and how they can embed telecommunication courses, be it in, hobby mode, be it in a kind of entrepreneurship mode, be it for short-term course. They can do that, and we are there to help and support the ecosystem. We do not just do the courses, but we help in the capacity building. As one of my colleagues mentioned, training of trainers, and then even the assessments of such trainings as how impactful they are. We do all of it, and we would be very happy to support. And thanks once again to all the participants over here. We really look forward for your support and your feedback, because our ears and eyes are 24/7. They are open 24/7. And of course, with the CBSE in between, that type of window in between, both educators and sector skill councils like telecommunication should leverage their strength, their expertise, and we should be able to provide a lot of impact and value to the ecosystem. With that, I would like to thank everyone over here. Over to you, Mr. Singh.
Thank you so much. And Parveenji, any last words?
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for inviting us for this particularly. And as we said that we will definitely work on for this particular 6 to 8 standards, the small capsules, and it would be more interactive so that the teacher can play, even not being the learned, and they can play, and then during the play they can understand. And regarding this 11th and 12th, we already been shared that, and in the later years when you are going to be planned for the 9th and 10th also, will be work for you for the all representative. Come on.
Thank you. And any words from Panditji?
No, sir. It was. I would thank everyone that for giving us such a response, and they are so responsive members over here in the CBSE that they have filled up the feedback form and they have shared their views over a chat, and it's a very interactive session. So we are looking forward to come up with more zeal to it and give a very outcome-based oriented content and curriculum to you all, so that we can take the skilling into a very bigger picture. And thank you everyone for that.
Thank you, Panditji. And just a quick feedback to you. Although your course on Android application does not have a digital content, which is the need of the hour today, but 72% schools and respondents have said that they would like to introduce Android application developer in their schools.
So we'll do that, sir. We actually in the process of developing it, sir. So I didn't mention it, no, because we have not yet finalized, but we will be ready with that, sir.
So 72% of the schools have given the choice,
Okay.
given the feedback as option B, which is Android application developer. But we will definitely look into all the curriculum and how it fits into our already existing structure of class 11 and 12. Whichever is more gelling with that only we'll take up after discussions with you in this question. So let me take this opportunity to thank Chairman CBSE, who has been very forthcoming and motivating us for sessions like this and take up new courses. Director Skill Education and Training, Dr. Biswajit Saha, for sparing his time and giving us the way ahead and the key remarks telling us how we are shaping it up. I would also like to thank Dr. Arvind Bali. Although he was traveling, but he made sure that he participated in this program and addressed the participants and showed them what the telecom sector is planning and how they can contribute to this development. Thanks are also due to Mr. Pandey, Mr. Shiv Pandey, who has been very patient in addressing all the queries and also in addressing and giving us a very lively presentation, and very calmly he spoke about the presentation. It helped us to understand it also. Thank you, Mr. Mohammed, and thank you, Mr. Praveen, for being there. Thanks to the IT team of CBSC for organizing this program and helping us to beam it live on Facebook, on YouTube. Thank you. Thank you, Sugesi and her team. Thank you to all my colleagues from CBSC for making this program a success. With this, we would like to end this program now. And I would be failing in my duties if I do not thank all the participants who have participated in this program, interacted with us. Although they have online classes going on, they are just returned home or maybe they are on their way, but they made sure they participated and gave us their feedback. Thank you so much, everyone. See you again in our next program. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
So, Daisy, we can stop the live feed now. Which